Morning, everyone. For me, it's Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and post your video, but I imagine most of you are seeing this on Monday. I'm going to break this up just to make this a little bit easier. Plus, we're in good shape as far as time. I'm only going to do 4 more postings for geometry. Given what we've got left, we've got 2.5 weeks left. If you're viewing this on Monday morning, we have 2.5 weeks left. I'm going to post one today, Monday. I'm going to post another one on Thursday, and Monday and Thursday next week, and that's it. We're not having a final exam in this class. Final exams are silly. It's just going to be the average of all of your delta mass in those 3 early assignments that I had paper assignments. So take your time. You go back. I've left almost all of these open. They're partial credit, but even ones from even delta mass from 4 and 5 weeks ago, you can still get 60% credit on if you want to go back and do them. All right, in delta math, we're going to be looking at there's just a few different variations on this. Plus, I'm going to show you how to use the calculator on your Android or your iPhone. All right, volume of a sphere. Sphere is just a ball. All right. We're going to be judging everything from the radius of that sphere. The radius is the center point of the sphere. Every point on the outside of the sphere is an equal distance from that radius. You could draw a line from the radius to any point on the outside of the sphere, and it's going to be the same. All right. Half a sphere is called a hemisphere. You should probably know this from your geology and science classes and stuff like that. Half a sphere is a hemisphere. Now, the questions in the book, they're going to add, well, let me back up here. The formula for a full sphere is the volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. All right? That's for a whole sphere. Right? The book is going to, it doesn't try to trick you up, but it wants you to be able to answer questions in different ways. It's going to ask you for, the volume of a sphere. On some questions, it's going to ask you for the volume of a hemisphere. Right? It's also going to give you, in some questions, going to give you the radius. All right? Here's the radius. And in some questions, it's going to give you the diameter. The diameter looks like this. And you remember, the diameter is twice the radius. So you've got to be able, that's the only variations you're going to have on this, but you've got to be ready to answer them. I'm going to do 3 examples for you, and I think that's plenty. And it's going to show you how to round, and I'm going to tell you how to enter it into delta math. All right, number 1 is a sphere. It's got a 5-inch diameter, all right? And actually, it's not a sphere. It wants to know the volume of a hemisphere with a 5-inch diameter. Okay, so I'm going to write this out. This is how you're going to enter this inside of your calculator. Let's talk about what this is. 4/3 is going to be 4 divided by 3 times pi. You hit the pi button. Pi button, you don't want to enter 3.14. For accuracy, you want to hit the pi button. Right? Times, all right, the radius. Well, 5 is the diameter. We know that 2.5 is going to be the radius. So it's the radius cubed. So it's going to be times 2.5 times 2.5. It's 2.5. Make this an x. Right? Times 2.5. All right? There's your cube. There's your radius. There's your radius cubed. 1, 2, 3. All right? This is a hemisphere. This whole formula up here is for a sphere. So the final thing you have to do is multiply by 0.5. You type this straight into your calculator. 4 divided by 3, don't hit anything else, times pi times 2.5 times 2.5 times 2.5 times 0.5, hit the equal, and you're going to get your answer. All right, this wants you to round to the tenths. So you're going to round this, and the answer to this would be 32.7. If you want to put in your calculator, check it out, feel free. All right, here's number 2. It wants to know the volume of a sphere, whole sphere, not a hemisphere, a sphere of radius of 60.5. All right, so let's write this out. It's going to be the volume equals 4. Looking up here at the formula, it's going to be 4 divided by 3. That's 4/3 times, hit the pi button, times the radius. We don't have to do anything. This is the radius this time. This isn't the diameter. We don't have to change it. Times 60.5. It's cubed, so I want to do it again. 60.5 times 60.5. Right? If you enter that straight in your calculator, it's going to give you the correct answer. The thing here is to round. The answer for this one, I would enter this in your calculator so you can see how the rounding goes. It's going to be 927,582.2. It wants to round to the tenths, and when it says round to the tenths, it's going to look like this, 0.2. Here's problem number 3. I would suggest you stop the video and try this problem and then come back to me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do this. All right, this is going to be the volume equals, and this is always going to be the case, 4 divided by 3 times pi. All right, this wants to know the radius, but they give us a diameter. So you have to divide this by 2. Okay, the diameter divided by 2 is going to give you the radius, and the radius is 26.45. Right, cubed, so I got to do it 3 times. 26.45 times 26.45. And this wants to know a hemisphere, and our formula is for a whole sphere, so we got to multiply this times 0.5. Right? If you remember to take care of the diameter, and always keep an eye on what the radius is, not the diameter, the radius, you'll be fine with these. Enter this in a calculator. V equals 4 divided by 3 times pi times 26.45 times 26.45 times 26.45 times 0.5. You're going to get 755.7. And Delta Math takes care of this, but anytime you're doing volume, it's going to be something cubed. This was inches, so it's going to be inches cubed. You don't have to worry about this because the answer, the units will always be there. You're just responsible for the number. All right, take time rounding it. This is the part that seems to give people problems, but it's the basic rounding rules you learned back in grade school. Round to the tenths. All right? If y'all have any questions with this or any problems, email me. Some of you got my number, text me, whatever you have to do to get in touch with me. But I think you find this assignment extremely doable. Guys, have a good week, and I will talk to you on Thursday.